Hey guys, it's Lee here for Caravel Gaming with Maddy.
Hey guys.
We're going to take you through that best of three we promised. Where Maddy's playing Handlock and I'm going to play some of the tier 1 decks against him.
Yeah, although it's not the best of three, or is it a best of three?
No, it's not a best of three, it's just three different decks. Of
Yeah, it's 3 matches.
Yeah, 3 matches, just so you can get an idea of what we're doing, what the deck does.
Although it might as well be best of three because I'm gonna win 2-1, but...
Yeah, Maddy's promising to beat me up. He's got a little bit more experience than me in the constructed ladders. Apart from maybe one deck, but that's not really an educational deck, I don't think. So we're going to take some time to talk about our hands as much as we can.
Okay, so... you're playing for your control, right? It's not the face warrior, hopefully.
Yeah, you can assume I'm playing warrior control.
Yeah, so against warrior control, definitely you want to mulligan for two things, Twilight Drake and the Mountain Giant, because you know in the early game they won't do anything to you basically, and you just want to get those executes out before the Mountain Giant comes and all that. So yeah, and you basically want to be aggressive in this matchup if you can, not over aggressive but kind of aggressive. Because you know the armor makes them less vulnerable to the big combo. So you can play passively in most control matchups, like for example versus Druid, but you can't against Warrior because they just start shielding up constantly. And yeah, that's it.
So I'm going to play the role of Mr. Ranked Ladder, just come up against a Warlock, so I'm not going to assume he's Handlock.
Yeah, you have to assume I'm Zoo.
So I'm going to assume he's Zoo because every other Warlock I've played Zoo. So my hand, it looks pretty good against Zoo. We got some removal. If he does turn out to be Handlock, like Shield Slam's pretty good. This guy's okay. I mean, it's not a bad hand. It does things. So and if he is a random Murloc deck, we can crush him with this card. So I guess I'll keep this and we'll see what. Oh, that's a bad sign. Maddy's kept his as well.
No, I didn't keep a mulligan 2 actually out of the 3. I just did it earlier. So yeah, my hand kind of sucks right now against warrior control. Also, you know, in general when I play against warrior, I assume it's warrior control. And, you know, turn 1 I didn't do anything, you might be suspicious of that.
Yeah.
And when I do this,
you have to know your handlock. Yeah.
You have to know I'm not Zoo deck at this point.
So I think we're gonna start trying to put some pressure on him and drop this guy down, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the best 3-drops in the game.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually a really interesting turn for me. I'm definitely going to tap here and not gonna play any minions. The question is if I want to Soulfire the 2/4 or not. And since we picked up this card right here, I think I'm going to, because I have a good turn 4 plays, and I actually don't want him to get buffed and not taken care of. You know, if it takes down half of my health in a turn, which it can definitely do, it's just not good. So basically, if your opponent plays a 2/4, you just want to Soulfire it, unless your hand is ridiculously good and you don't want to discard any of it. But I'm fine discarding this card, this one, even this one. But, you know, to increase the chances of not discarding these 2 cards, I'm going to tap. And that is absolutely fine. I against Warrior, I probably won't need much of a healing, or at least I'm not gonna miss an Earthen Ring over like my Giants or Drakes.
So on my side of things, because we have this combination of cards, for if he does make his Giant next turn, I'm gonna go ahead and make another one of those guys, because I think with our hand at the minute, that's the only thing we can really do to apply some pressure.
Okay, so at this point I basically will do this as just given for this turn. If he has the like Slam Execute or Whirlwind Execute combo, I'm in a little bit of a trouble, but that's fine. We want him to waste his, or we want Lee to waste his Execute on this rather than the Giant. That we may or may not have in our hand.
So we're getting to put some pressure on. We've got to be careful with pressuring his life total too much because we don't want to make him have 3 Giants until we can kind of kill him with 1 turn. And that's a bit away right now.
Okay, so now I have the decision of playing this or this. If I do this, I can tap. If I do this, I can't. Actually, the main question is because I think this guy is more beneficial than this. Ah, is it? No, it isn't. I have to play this. I have to play the Hellfire. Because, yeah, silencing, it still leaves a 2-4 on the board, which is not the best. Lee can still gain armor from the armor smiths and so on.
So, I wish I could give you some more information, guys, but my hand and turns are kind of playing themselves. So we're just looking for another threat. So we do have an option here. You can either armor up or drop this guy. I still kind of want to peck at his life total a little bit more. So I'm going to stick this guy down and work around that, I think.
Also, for my last turn, if it would have meant a difference if I tapped or not in terms of the Giant, I would have played the silence and tap. So basically, if I needed the extra card for the Giant, I would have played the silence and tap because that 2 damage really is not a whole lot.
So we are going to Shield Slam his guy, I think. Or we could do it next turn after... No, he's just going to hit us and eat all our armor.
Yeah, you definitely want to Shield Slam now because I'm going to go face so you couldn't Shield Slam.
Yeah, I made a little mistake though. I thought I had enough mana to... I thought I had 2 mana left over there. So I could Whirlwind and then Shield Slam.
Oh yeah, that's sad. But you know, if you sack it in and Shield Slam, I'm probably not capable of taking down your Acolyte. Also, I'm not going to face the Siphon Soul versus your all legendary deck on a 1/3. So actually, you're fine not Whirlwinding this turn and maybe Whirlwinding the next turn.
Yeah, it was still a pretty bad play for me, guys. Sorry about that. But we have 1 Giant down, only 3 more to go.
Yep, and actually, I don't have anything to play after I play the Giants, and it requires 1 less mana, so I can tap before I do that. And we don't have to worry about lethal because, you know, against Warrior, the lethal is 12 damage plus what's on the board, and that's also at 10 mana, or 10 damage plus what's on the board, and it's at 9 mana. So we're pretty far away from that, and yeah.
So, I'm not entirely sure what to do here. But like I said, Maddy's a lot more experienced than me, but I think we just want to see another card, and probably just going to flick this Whirlwind out and see what that gets us. Although we could draw 2 cards if we slam our own guy.
Yeah, but then you can't attack with... Oh, well, you can attack with it, but I think I'd keep the slam for the slam execute combo if you have it.
Yeah. Well, if I was slamming, I have the Whirlwind for the execute anyway. So if I slam my Acolyte, I can draw a card off the slam, draw a card off the damage, then run the Acolyte in and draw another card, because my hand is pretty terrible right now.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna do that. Like, see, this is the most cards. I mean, feel free to tell me how bad I am in the comments, guys. I don't mind.
Well, I mean, you could have slammed my guy that draws you 1 card, play the Whirlwind, because at 5 mana you're not going to play Brawl. I mean, do you go for a 50-50 Brawl here? I don't think so. So you could actually draw the same amount of cards and hitting my Giant for 5. Or for 3, rather than 2.
I'm not sure that's right, because I slammed the Acolyte, draw a card for doing it damage, draw a card because it didn't die, and now if I run the Acolyte into Yokai, I draw another card, so I draw 3.
Yeah, but if you slam my giant, you draw 1 Whirlwind, you draw one from the Acolyte, and then you run your Acolyte in. That's 3 cards as well. So
we're just going to try and we're just digging for answers really. So it turns out 8/8s are pretty big.
Okay, so I have options for this turn, and let's see, he couldn't take out my giant, so I have to assume he doesn't have execute. He also fished pretty hard for an execute, which is good. What I want to do here is, because I have this card, yeah, it doesn't matter that I have this card, because of his armor. But since I drew the Watcher, I don't need cards anymore. I have 1 Azure Drake in the deck that requires the card advantage, but or the huge amount of cards. But other than that, I don't need cards at all. So what I'm going to do is play this, silence it, and actually, I want to draw a card. I should have drawn first, obviously. But it doesn't really matter because I would have played the same combo regardless of what comes. I definitely wouldn't have picked up lethal in any way, and I definitely want to take down the armor because I don't want him to top deck a shield slam and just kill my giant.
So we are staring down quite a hefty board. We can, if we Whirlwind, we kill the Owl. I think Whirlwind does a lot of work here. Kills the Owl, puts the Protector down to 1, puts the Watcher down to 3, and does some damage to the Giant. So I think what we need to do first is, if we slam the Watcher, so we get to draw the card there, I'm trying to figure out whether I can actually kill the Giant for... Yeah, I think if we get rid of the 2 taunts, we can kill the giant. We need 2, 4, 5. So we need 5 mana to kill the giant, I think. Assuming I'm not a maths cripple, which is entirely possible. It's a nice draw. We might need that very soon. Yeah, I don't think we can afford to take the 8.
Back to work.
Kinda don't want to attack him with this, I'm just gonna clear the board. Just because at 15 he still has to pay a reasonable amount for his Molten Giants. Overall I think that was quite a good turn for us. We managed to put something together and deal with his board.
Okay, so this turn is a pretty interesting turn for me, because if he has the combo, which is the Gromash Whirlwind, or Gromash Slam, although I think both Slams and 1 Whirlwind is out, if I remember correctly, so basically he's pretty unlikely to have the combo, or you are, or I'm, yeah, let's just say he is. But if he does have it, I'm dead. Now I could mix some tones, but I could tone this guy up or this guy up, which is pretty silly. I could also play like this guy and Shadow Flame it, but that's really unnecessary. So I'm just going to take the risk. I mean, if he has the combo, he has it. You can't do anything about that. But this, he had a really hard time taking out the last 8/8 I played, and this is another one. So if he doesn't have the combo, well, let's just say he's dead.
So we can either go, as they say in the game, YOLO Ragnaros and try and take out his guy, or
What now?
we can shield block and make the Kern. But I'm a little worried about power overwhelming. I mean, if I didn't know Maddy's deck list, I'd be slightly less worried. The other option is to make the taunt and beat him up. But that leaves us open to Molten Giants and taunts, so we're a bit worried about that. I don't feel like we're in a very good situation here, that's the problem. It's whether or not we can draw... We've got 11 cards left, we can draw a card with Shield Block and try and fish for the Execute. Or we can just try and get a bit lucky with the Ragnaros. But I'm not really sure which one is best.
Well, against general handlocks, 20 damage is the number, like the 3-card combo. So shield block doesn't matter in terms of... Well, it actually does, because if you shield up after it...
Up well, yeah.
Oh yeah, but I have an 8-8 in play. So, no, it doesn't matter.
There's that little bit of an 8-8.
Yeah, so basically I think you're better off with the Ragnaros. Also, most decks don't run steal your guy kind of Sylvanas overwhelming combo.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the Ragnaros.
And I definitely wouldn't have hit there. Oh, I definitely wouldn't have hit there. Now I have 3 Molten Giants. You want me to not be able to play 2 Molten Giants and a taunt?
Well, the thing is, if you just play a Molten, you've got 10 mana anyway, so if you pay 5 mana for a Molten Giant, you can play a taunt and top up your 2 8/8s, your 8/8 anyway. And you've got 2 guys, so it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to do anything with the Ragnaros.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm kind of on the street of... I'm hoping 2 things. 1, the Ragnaros kills the Alex Driver, or we're dead anyway. 2, I'm hoping you don't have double Molten Giant anyway, and I don't think there was much I could really do.
Yeah.
That's my reasoning, it could be wrong.
And it goes face and it's GG. If it didn't go face, well, there is the top deck. But but if it didn't go face, I'm probably in a really awkward situation if I don't draw the Giants, but I probably tap then and hope for the Sylvanas to come in. So basically it was the 50-50 Ragnaros that decided the game, and now I obviously have lethal with the combo, and I can just BM Lee, because why not? Oh, there's the Sylvanas. Okay, so yeah. This is generally how Warrior matchups go. They waste their Execute on the Twilight Drake, and you could see that I didn't go for the Twilight Drake, didn't go for the early Giant, but I went for the early Twilight Drake, because generally one Execute comes out for that, and then I can play my Giant more safely.
Yep, unfortunately I don't think I had many other options to deal with the Drake, because I couldn't get my armor up high enough. And then with the shield slam in hand, I have to get it off the board, because if I don't get rid of it, I'm never getting the armor.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good debate. I saw some deck lists that play Yeti instead of Twilight Drake, because it cannot be silenced, etc., etc. That is the exact reason why I played Twilight Drake instead of the Yeti, because of Warrior Control and all the classes that don't play silence in their main deck at least. 4/9 is just a much bigger threat than a 4/5. Okay, so we're up against Hunter, and I'm not actually 100% sure. Well, I know Lee's playing a mid-range Hunter, but when I'm up against Hunter in the ladder, I'm not actually sure if I want to mulligan against an aggro Hunter or a mid-rangey Hunter. It depends on the actual meta. But this card is really cool. This card is cool. You want to basically have this guy and an activator for it. I'm really debating keeping this because we want an activator for it. In standard matchups, I keep this, but with this guy in hand, I will even throw the Earthen Ring back.
So my hand is a whole lot of nothing, so we're going to chuck it all back. The reason I'm chucking the tracking back, guys, is because you don't really want to be tracking on turn 1. It's to find you, it's not to find you the first part of the combination you need to do alright in the game. It's to find you the second part that pushes you over the edge to winning the game.
That's going to be an interesting debate because I always track turn 1.
For me, it's a lot of knowledge I've gained from basically other card games, because there was a deck called Core Blade in Magic Gathering, and you had a card called Preordain, which is look at the top 2, you can put them to the bottom, put them any number of the 2, one on the top, one on the bottom, both on the bottom, both on the top, and it was such a powerful effect. You never really wanted to use it before you knew exactly what you needed to get through the stage of the game you were at. The only time you would use it is to stabilise your mana draw. And considering you get mana every turn in Hearthstone.
Yeah. However, I think against Zoo, the card that you want to have by turn 4 is Unleash the Hound, and you have to track for that. You have to go through as big part of your deck as you can to find that Unleash, because if you don't have Unleash against Zoo, then it's gonna be really bad for you. So that's why I keep tracking and play it turn 1, just to narrow my deck down. Basically.
It's an interesting counterpart. The problem is if you see 2 Unleash the Hounds, then what are you gonna do? You have to discard one of them.
Nothing. You need one. One clears the board. At least for me, you need. I play mid-range hunter in a way that by turn 4, maybe 5, and in the worst case scenario, turn 6, I want to have either Buzzard or Hyena and an Unleash, and probably a Hunter's Mark if I have the Hyena. If I don't, I will throw into it because of the Buzzard.
Okay, fair enough. It's an interesting debate. Let us know what you guys think. That's what the comments
definitely.
For. So I'm not going to drop this guy on turn 1 because he doesn't seem to achieve anything. And if he has a Mortal Coil, it's not the best. We'll save it to go with this guy.
Okay, so this card, the Mountain Giant, I can say in this matchup is a dead card. You will never ever have enough cards to play this guy because you want to put in guys or put down guys as fast as possible. Obviously not the Watchers if you can't activate them, but yeah. We might even see a Giant Blade on turn 4 given my hand, but that's a different subject.
So I made my 2-drop because it's a 2-drop, and you don't want to stick this guy down until you can grow him. So it's nice to be able to put a little bit of pressure on him now, but we don't really want to commit a lot more because he could just blow us out with the Hellfire. So we're just gonna apply some pressure with this guy and see where we go from there with our draws.
Yeah. So the quote-unquote problem with the Handlock on the draw is that you have to play something on turn 3 and then you can't tap. But yeah, we're just gonna play him. Also, for those who say coin Mountain Giant in the comments, nope.
Fortunately, I have actually had recently someone attempt to do that against me.
That's just so funny.
So we're not really up to that much, folks. We might just drop this guy to... The problem is, we know he's Handlock now, so we know he's got Mortal Coils and removal and things. So we definitely don't want to silence this guy.
Don't do that.
So I think we're gonna shoot him for 2. That's a given. And then I think we may play the Hyena, despite not being able to grow him just yet. But I'm not convinced that that's the best play. Sometimes the hardest thing to do in cards is decide when to just pass.
Yeah, I actually think Hyena is good here because I wouldn't have put down the Ancient Watcher if I had Hellfire in my hand.
That was my thoughts as well.
So
we'll do that. We're in. He's not down. Let's hope he gets huge and beats Maddy up.
Okay, so we drew a really interesting card, but I think, I said this card is a death card. Well, given that our hand is really bad, it became a life card, so we should play it as soon as possible, because I could play this one and then Soulfire and all that to, make a pretty nice board for us, but I think we can do that next turn, and if we are able to play the extra giant that is considered a dead card in this matchup, I think we should. So even though he will probably have the, either the Deadly Shot or the Hunter's Mark for it.
So I was just going to say, this is the point where we really want a Deadly Shot or a Hunter's Mark. Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. I'm thinking of going fishing for it with my buzzard, because we have our next couple of turns kind of laid out for us. Just keep fishing.
Yeah, that top deck tracking. Have to hate that.
So we have quite an interesting choice. We can go another card deeper to try and find the Hunter's Mark. Or I can pick up this guy and look to kind of get that burst finish, which is I think what we're going to do. This is a bit too random for this point of the game. Like I said, we have our next couple of turns kind of planned out. Due to us having this in our hand as well, we can get through if he drops any annoying things. So I'm going to take that card. The interesting thing is, we're better off running the pig into the giants because we get more damage that way.
Don't you want to run your Crocolisk into the giant as well, so it actually trades with the 4-3? Or, well, it will be a 6-4 by then. It gets still eaten by Soulfire, but if I don't have a Soulfire, then it trades with the giant, and if I do have a Soulfire, it's bad for you anyway.
Yep, that sounds like a reasonable argument.
And you know, it's the same amount of damage basically. It gives you less life on board, but it's the same amount of damage. So you basically don't waste a whole lot. I mean, I don't know your hand at all, but...
That seems like a reasonable thing. I hadn't even considered it. Like I said, I'm just... because I'm at the same situation Ribbo was at. Because we got into the beta so early, I'm feeling very burnt out from Hearthstone. I'm just kind of getting back into it now with the Fireside tournament we went down to. And talking to Maddy about things and planning out these videos. I've kind of got a little bit of the passion back, so I'm gonna be practicing, guys, and hopefully be better for the next set.
Yeah. Also, I think, sorry, but you made another mistake here. You shouldn't have hit me. You either should have taken down the giant because of the Soulfire, or just not hit at all, because now I have a Molten Giant for 4. And I can, with me having the coin in hand, I could even tone them up, and then that's basically a good game for the Hunter, I think.
You have to, I guess that's a consideration. I do have maybe a couple of solutions to the old taunt thing in hand.
Yeah. I actually probably can't play that, but I have to Mortal Coil. I can't have him draw. And that's a really good card for me if I don't have the Taunters. Oh wow, did I mess this up? I think I did. I think I did, because now I can Soulfire your Hyena, so that's a misplay from me.
So this is something interesting me and Boo were talking about the other day. It's thinking through your lines for the entire turn, which is something that becomes easier once you become more familiar with the deck. But the reason Maddy did it that way is ingrained into his head is I want to draw all my cards first, so I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, that Hyena is really, really annoying, because... why did I do that? Okay, so my turn becomes a little bit different now. I have to kill that for sure, because otherwise I may even be dead next turn. The question is if I want to silence that or just trade, but since I can play the giant, I think I can go ahead and just trade here. Obviously I should have went Soulfire and risk discarding the Mortal Coil. If I discard the Mortal Coil, I still could have taken down with the Mountain Giant. So the buzzer down with the Mountain Giant, so that was fine, and this way it was pretty awful.
So we have some options, but I still think this guy's probably the best one. Looking to set up that little bit extra we need for him. The other option are fire this off and do nothing else, which doesn't seem like a lot of value. So we're going to make a Scar, and you can have some Hakuna Matata. But obviously we drew this card that was one deeper, that we could have got to. But you know, you can't always work that out.
Okay, so I don't have enough mana to silence that and then Siphon Soul that, which means that I probably have to run my Giant in, which is pretty bad for me. or Siphon Soul, and then nah, that's not good. So what I'm going to do is play the
I wonder.
yeah, I'm 1 mana short of having a really awesome turn. So yeah, it's gonna be Twilight Drake, silence first. Do I actually want? Yeah, I have to silence. And now I'm really worried because I've only seen one buzzard and no unleashes, and unleash actually takes down the giant, which is a huge problem for me. But there is no other solution. I could have been dead next turn.
So we don't have any good plays, to be honest, here. Like, we're just looking for a way to put the game away.
I wonder.
I'm leaning towards playing this guy because we can shoot as well. But I'm a little worried about that because I don't want to give him a giant for 3, considering how mana constrained he was last turn. So I'm thinking we just play this guy, but I'm not 100%. We're gonna go with this guy. We've not seen any Siphon Souls yet, but he has used his silence. Let's play this guy. Let's play that guy. Just because it leaves us on the board with something when he kills it, we hope.
Okay, so let's calculate a little bit. That's 12, 14. I have another 8 in my hand. That's 22, and I can silence that. That's still just 26. But I could have 26 damage output this turn.
Yeah, I knew you were close to killing me. I was a bit worried about the Alistraza,
Yeah.
especially because you've still got the coin.
However, I can still do my awesome play here. What I couldn't last turn is that I Siphon Soul. This life is really important for me at this point. And go ahead and silence. Do I actually need to silence? I don't need to silence my Watcher because I can trade accordingly. It leaves Unleash, less of a problem, and I can just silence it next turn because my damage output is exactly 1 mana or costs exactly 1 mana from my hand, so that this +2 doesn't even matter even if I draw Leroy.
So we've just been every single turn. I've been 10 pence short, as we Brits like to put it. Oh, wait until you see my hand after these videos. My draws have been less than stellar after digging for certain cards. They're turning up in droves.
Okay, so that's 8, that's 16. I still don't have lethal. I could fish for lethal. Does it matter if I'm on? No, because the board is going to be empty. I could also find a Mortal Coil, which would be awesome to fish for lethal, so I'm going to tap first. That's actually not that good. I really don't need my 4-1, and I don't want to, be unleashed next turn, so I'm actually just going to trade here and play my giant. And since we've been really lucky and Lee's been really unlucky with his hand, the second Mountain Giant is also a life card. It shouldn't really be in versus Hunter basically ever.
I'm 1 off killing you. I'm gonna put you to 1. That's just doubles at 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 2. Yeah, I can put you to 1. But I guess we just use it to clear the board.
And there are the ladies. Have to love this combo, probably the most overpowered thing in the game.
So that's 10 damage I've got left.
Wow.
I think we're past the point we can care about you having a free giant.
Yeah, but I mean, free giant is okay, but I have to worry about kill command or stuff like that. Or, you know, even just basically anything that does 3 to my face because of your hero power. So I'm going to have to do some damage control here.
Sad times.
And there's the Watcher gone, which is not the best, but I still have an 8-8 on board, and, you know, last turn was pretty desperate. So both Hunter marks are gone, so it's basically Deadly Shot or the 8-8 leaves at this point.
Yep, and I obviously drew this card off the top of the deck, which would have been more than lethal. We can't afford to play this guy just in case we draw the kill command. Yeah, do we have this guy though, I guess? But I think he's just going to beat up. Yeah, I don't think we lose anything from playing him. It's not got that many targets.
Okay, so we still only have 15 damage output this turn, so we're just going to go the safe route.
You should make more 8-8s and 9-9s.
So at this point it really doesn't matter. Kill command is not lethal, basically with any combination. And also with the 2 hunters marks gone, I'd rather go for safe lethal next turn.
Yep, there's not much I can do here. But your dragons are no longer stealthy. No, really, they are not in stealth. Yep, and we are dead. That's the Timberwolf was the card I drew.
Yeah, I thought so. I was really worried that you might have a Timberwolf there.
So, we'll let Maddy beat us up, because we're nice like that.
So yeah, this game shouldn't have gone this way. You should have won it like 9 times out of 10, probably.
Yeah, not being able to draw an Unleash was kind of detrimental to me killing you.
Yeah. So here we go on our third match, which is going to be the aggro deck.
Yep.
And basically against aggro, Handlock either loses really fast or wins really easily. Against Zoo, I have somewhere around 70-75% win rate, or even more, with this deck. Yeah, 70%. So I'm going to keep the Molten Giant because I can play him probably, but I want to fish for the Ancient Watcher and an Activator for it. And another Death card.
So just so you guys know, that little pause was Maddy checking his spreadsheet, because he does track everything, he's not just pulling these numbers out of the air.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know he's not one of those people who go, I have an 87% win rate against a certain deck and I played it 3 times.
No, I'm definitely not.
But yeah, I did think about throwing a fastball at you, Maddy, and playing more Murlocs. But I decided against it. So basically, the Zoo deck, you're just trying to maximise your damage every single turn.
Payback time.
And it's payback time.
I fight.
The only problem is this deck's not very good at waiting to do a big chunk of damage because he'll just deal with our board. So Molten Giants are absolutely amazing against us.
One thing against Zoo, you really shouldn't be greedy. So like this looks like a really bad play, but you have to do it. It's -4 damage off the board and also +15 for him, but discarding the Alexstrasov wasn't the best move. But you have to do it because from 5 damage he went to 1 this turn.
I fight.
Payback time.
I just like getting some payback time.
Basically, at this point, I'm fishing for either a Hellfire or a Shadow Flame, or the Watchers, or like something that I can play. It's probably the worst hand possible. And if I play this guy, that's gonna be 5. Yeah, I can play this guy, and I will play this guy just to make him, trade with this 3-2 maybe. Or just leave that on board and, overwhelm Shadow Flame next turn or something like that.
So, what we could do this turn, guys, is we can Dark Hand Dwarf, Divine Shield guy and send him in. But that leaves us open to a board wipe. So what I'm going to do is trade off the Shattered Sun Cleric with the Protector. Because that does die to a board wipe. And we're not that interested in pushing him below 15 this turn. Do you say that's correct, Maddy, or do you not agree with that?
I think most people would play the Dark Iron, but I think that's a bad play because that opens you also up to Mortal Coil, and you have to assume I have a pretty bad hand just playing the Sun Fury with nothing to taunt up and also just tapping all the time. So yeah, I think your play is better,
Forward.
but there's definitely like a quote-unquote pro play that most of the players wouldn't do.
Fight.
And I'm not even going to play the Dark Hand off, I'm going to play 2 more Divine Shield guys because it's just a lot more difficult for him to deal with. And then we've also got the buff guy in hand to buff up 3 Scarlet Crusader to help deal with the giants.
And here comes the surprise Blood Knight I have in the deck just for this situation.
Bring it!
Okay, so now obviously we top deck the Watcher, but we can't activate it at all, so just have to play the Giant and hope.
So I think this turn... See, this is where it becomes awkward for Zoo, because I can't kill him this turn. I can put him quite low, but I can't kill him. I can burn all my Divine Shield to take out his Giant, and if he does then Hellfire will be left over with this guy, which I'm leaning towards. Or the other option is we go for face and hope he can't kill our Protector and doesn't have a way to make both these guys defenders, taunts. But considering he played the Sun Fury Protector, I'm assuming he has another way to give taunt in his hand. So I think I'm going to just kill the Giant.
You call that a weapon? Get in there and fight, maggot!
Join.
Yeah, and that's why we hate Zoom.
I fight.
Because it can do stuff like that.
I fight.
So that entire...
Oh, I actually really wouldn't have hit there, I think. Well, maybe.
Because it puts you to 15, right? You've got to pay 5 for a Giant.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so... I mean, that's 1, 2, 5, 6, 10, 12, so I'm dead to Soulfire. If I Mortal Coil that, I'm only dead to a combo. So let's Mortal Coil that. I'm not dead to anything, and I can play this and next turn play these 2 or even these 2. So, yeah, let's do that. Against Zoo, it's always a really close game. You're always almost at lethal range. And then you generally Alexstrasza yourself unless you discard it into the Soulfire.
But even if you did Alexstrasza, have you used the coin yet? You haven't, have you? So you would have coined it next turn, wouldn't you? Or have you
No,
used it?
I think the coin was yours.
Oh yeah,
I think I went first.
Yeah. So we are an unexciting top deck there. I think we have to throw caution to the wind and just go for it, as they say. We can buff the Dark Hand Dwarf though. 5, 6, 7, 8, get in for 2. It just feels terrible. But still, that's unless you play Defender and Giant.
I wonder.
think it is FaceTime. We're going to draw a card first.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Yep, we're going deep, guys. We're going to go try and beat you up.
I fight. I fight.
Payback time.
Yep, that doesn't do that. So we are, because of what we have in hand, we're not bothered about this. We are just going to put him to 1.
Job's done.
Because unfortunately I can't bullet call your face.
Oh.
So now he can't tap to dig a card deeper. I mean, if he has like triple taunt or something, we're in trouble. But playing the Soulfire there means whatever we draw off the top we're fine to play. And we can literally cast every card in the deck. Shield Bearer doing work. Ribble's favourite card.
It's actually quite good, sadly.
It's really... the thing is, it's because it's a 0-4 with taunt. That taunt is worth another 1 point of stats. So you're getting 5 stats for 1. Which is why it's really powerful. That's how this deck was built, obviously.
Yeah, I have no better play than taunting up both of my guys, but I think... Can you take care of that, actually? I'm not sure, let's... Oh, no, because it's an Argus. So that's 1, 2, 3, 8, 10, 13, and I have 15 life on board. Also, I take this out. Yeah, let's see if you can deal with it. Actually, I mean, you know, I'm probably dead to Doomguard, and I'm definitely dead to a Soulfire.
Put this apple on your head.
Oh, wow.
Is that how it's going to end?
Nope, nope, that would be ugly.
Let's get his guys. Area here. Magic Beans?
Apple on your head.
Wow, nice one.
Well, sometimes you just got to take the risks.
Yeah, that was a good one. I mean, you know, I didn't get any of my Watchers till like turn 5 or 6. I also got no board clear, and basically just one Molten Giant that I couldn't taunt up the turn I played it. So yeah, I mean it was a pretty bad draw from me, and you know, I think you played well with the Zoo, so yeah, it was that 30%.
Yeah. No prizes for guessing which deck I played more with out of those 3. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with another deck and another 3 kickings for either me or Maddy probably, as we play decks we know what we're doing. If you've got any requests what decks you want us to go through next, give us a shout up on the channel and we'll try and cover them for you. So that's goodbye from me.
See you guys.